There is a supernatural world, and sometimes it manifests to people like you and me. You'll hear stories like this and so much more right here on Supernatural Confrontations. All week long, I'm going to have Vicki Joy with us here. I think you'll find the interviews absolutely incredible. She has a new book out. I am proud to say that we published it under our company, Spiral of Life. It's called They Only Come Out at Night, and it deals with sleep paralysis. So many people have written in. The book is incredibly timely. But first, before we get into the interview, a word from our sponsor. Over 1,100 people participating in a study that demonstrated that collagen supplements are some of the best ways to improve the quality and health of your skin. The study found that taking collagen for 90 days is effective in reducing the appearance of skin aging by improving skin elasticity and hydration. So don't believe in naysayers, collagen does work. This product I use is one of the most effective ways to strengthen joints, bones, ligaments, support skin health, and help hair and nail growth. Folks, I use it every single day. Every single day. The best thing about using this collagen powder is that it comes with free shipping, free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, and a free e-reported Tilted. The 14 foods for amazing skin. Get up to 51% off if you order today by going to healthwithla.com. That's healthwithla.com. Plus, of course, free shipping and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Once again, folks, healthwithla.com. My guest today is Vicki Joy Anderson. I think you'll find this interview incredible. She's an amazing writer. It's her first book. Once again, we're very proud to publish that, and we'll be interviewing Vicki all this week. You're not going to want to miss this. So the first question I have, Vicki, is why did you write the book? Why They Only Come Out at Night? Why about, sleep paralysis? Why did you write the book?
Yeah, absolutely. LA, if you had told me at 10 years old or 20 years old, as I was pursuing a writing career, wanted to be a writer my whole life, I would have told you I'm going to write beautiful poetry and women's devotionals, just like my mom. That was my goal. And wow, did the Lord ever have a different thing in mind for me, LA? And the reason I chose sleep paralysis is because it's something that I have suffered with for my entire life. I have memories that go back all the way to 2.5 years old, and it was relentless. This isn't something I had once when I was a teenager or, when I had a bad bout of rebellion, in college. This is something that has hounded me unprovoked from, I believe, the day I was born. And I'm 50 years old now, and I am still dealing with side repercussions of this. Meaning anytime you close the door, they find another way to wiggle in, right? And so they get more and more creative. The more you find their doors and shut them, they start digging tunnels and things like that, right? So it became my life's quest to figure out what this is, why it's targeting me, and how to get rid of it. And a half a century later, when I had those questions answered, I realized that they were questions that other people were asking too. And so my desire is not only to help people that are also in this situation, but to also help persuade the people that are dabbling in this sort of thing, that think it's great or think that it's going to lead to some sort of promotion on earth, that it is very dangerous to be dabbling in this stuff. Even if it starts out as a good experience for you, it will not remain that way. And my third concern, LA, is really for the church. There is a growing, frightening trend amongst God-fearing believers where the inability to discern between a second heaven astral encounter and encountering Jesus Christ or his spirit, those walls are beginning to flatten. Those sides are beginning to come together. And it is essential as we head into a great deception. Jesus promises that when he speaks, his sheep recognize his voice. And I'm starting to hear a lot of shepherds that sound so close to our shepherd that we're listening to it. And we've got to learn to discern to do otherwise.
Wow. So let me ask you this. Some people would be going like, what the heck is sleep paralysis? Why does this, why write a book about this? And I know I've experienced it once, and I'll just share my story real quickly. I was at a high school reunion, I think it was the 30th, and I was at my boyhood home, and I went back and I slept in that bed, and around 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, I was awakened absolutely terrified because there was something in the room and it was evil. I couldn't move a muscle. I could move my eyes. The terror level was something I've never really experienced before. It was visceral. And this entity was going to kill me. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It wanted my head on a stake. And I couldn't speak. Finally, I was able to think the name of Jesus. And when I thought that, I was able to move my lips finally and go, Jesus, help. Bam, just like that. It broke the thing. So I've experienced it once, which was terrifying. No, thank you. Don't want to experience it ever again. But what is sleep paralysis?
Yeah, well, this is also one of the reasons I wrote the book, LA, because if you go onto the internet, Google et al. Is more than happy to give you an explanation for sleep paralysis. And what typically they do is they downgrade it to sleeping disorder, some sort of narcolepsy, hallucinations, and then it gets into the realm of even more condescending explanations like mental illness, you're schizophrenic, you must have a drug problem. Maybe you're not mentally stable because I'm sure you were just asleep and it was just a dream. And so the medical and scientific and readily available on the internet explanations for someone, if I'm suffering and I go to find an answer, I am only going to find condemnation online. I'm going to be told I'm crazy, that I'm silly, that I'm nuts. But what I think that it is, LA, and I expound upon this at length in the book, so I won't bore people here, but I believe that sleep paralysis is a very real encounter with lower astral entities, but they are taking advantage of a physiological normality that is just built into every human being. They're not magically hypnotizing us or holding us down. Physiologically, we do fall into a state of paralysis during REM cycles of sleep. It's for our own protection, or we will act out things in our sleep. And so what they're actually doing to make it look like they are far more powerful and creepy than they really are is they are taking advantage of an opportune timing when we are caught unaware, we are half asleep, we don't know what's going on. It's the same thing as in scripture when Jesus warns us that the enemy is like a thief in the night. They come in the night because it's dark, we're drowsy, we're disoriented. He's a thief in the night, so he comes in the night.
Wow, that's really amazing. You mentioned in answering my first question that some people are dabbling with this
Yes.
because they think, well, maybe I'm about to be enlightened, or I'm going someplace and these entities will show me something, or whatever it is. And I could once again talk about my own experiences when I was in the New Age and astral projection and all of that. And lucid dreaming and all of that's very, very real. It's not something that's you're imagining. It's very, very real. Why is sleep paralysis dangerous, and why should we take this warning?
Absolutely. It is dangerous because exactly what you just said, you just hit the nail right on the head, LA. These things that we're being told are just dreams, don't worry about it, it's just a dream. If these are actual astral encounters with astral entities, They're attempting to do the same thing that the good guys are trying to do. Jesus is trying to communicate with mankind so that we will covenant with him, right? They're doing the exact same thing. They are luring us into this astral realm, whether you think it's just a dream or not. And there's ways to tell the difference between a dream and an astral encounter. Once you are there, the interactions and whatever it is you're participating in that realm will manifest contractually, legally, in the physical. And this is where, and I got to be really careful how I say this, LA, because I don't want to say anything that could be misconstrued that I am not having full faith in the power of Jesus Christ to rescue us from these contracts, because he can and he does. But I'm seeing a lackadaisical disinterest on behalf of a lot of people in the church. They don't like to touch this stuff because it's creepy. It scares them. They're afraid of opening doors, and they should be. Or they think it's, not to be dabbled with. We don't talk about demons and the devil. We only talk about the gospel. And so we may be purely motivated, but how do my people perish? Lack of knowledge. So we've got to be smart. And yes, Jesus can rescue us from these things, but we are told in Ephesians 6 to suit up in heavy gear and stand. And we're told that fiery darts are going to come against it. We do have to participate in this battle. And sometimes these contracts aren't broken by just a simple prayer. And that's not because Jesus lacks the power to break anything he wants. It's because if there's doors that are open, we have opened them. And everything is legal in that realm, as you've said. And so sometimes there's a requirement on our behalf to armor up and break these contracts. And that is a long process of praying, and the Spirit leads us through that. He gives us truth. But this concept that I don't have to worry about it, Jesus will take care of it, that lackadaisical attitude towards spiritual warfare will, at the very least, you're going to be pulling some darts out of your butt.
Wow. All right, that's part one, folks. There you go. If you're interested in the book, we're getting them this week. The pre-sale is still up. You can go to lamarzulli.net, lamarzulli.net. It's a great read. I'm honored to be publishing it. Again, it's our first book, other than my own books that we're publishing. And we're just honored to do that. Vicki Joy Anderson is an amazing writer, incredible researcher. You're going to love the book. Once again, you can go to lamarzulli.net. That's all the time we have for. Remember, folks, there is a supernatural world, and sometimes it manifests to people like you and me. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow with part two.